Good morning. I'm going to tell you right now, there's an incredible amount of misdirection that's going on with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was not shot with the 30-06 at 200 yards. I've shot 30-06s. At 200 yards, got about 2,000 pounds of energy. Had that been a 30-06, the impact would have been huge. It would have been like a bomb going off. Maybe there are some bulletproof vests that could have stopped that bullet. And most 30-06 bullets are going to be between 150 and 180 grain bullets. Okay? If Charlie would have been shot with 30-06 right there, it would have blown it. There would have been fragments of his t-shirt, of the vinyl, the outer layer of that bulletproof vest, and it would have just been an explosion. It would have knocked him on his ass. It would have knocked him completely over. I promise you. I have shot 30-06s and the equivalent thereof. And they will go clean through the shoulders of a big bull elk. We're talking about an 800 plus pound animal. They will go clear through the shoulders of a big bull moose, of a Kodiak bear. You're talking about a huge amount of energy. Now, having said that, that projectile was easily deflected, either from the left to right or right to left, because you know how videos are, they show things backwards. The videos I've been looking at, that projectile came from the left to the right, made a very small tear in his shirt. Okay, was deflected and then hit Charlie in the neck. Okay, and I swear to God, I hear the report of a pellet gun, and I have a pellet gun exactly like the one that was found at the scene. And there could have been one shooter and two patsies. It could have been a pellet gun pistol, which is much more easily hidden. That is a report I hear from that weapon. I do not hear the report of a high-powered rifle. And at 200 yards, the report would have got there before the bullet even arrived. Excuse me, I got that backwards. The bullet would have hit first, then you would have heard the report. The bullet goes, we're talking anywhere from muzzle velocity 2,700 feet per second to 3,000 feet per second. That is damn fast. The bullet would have got there before the report, but you would have heard easily a high-powered rifle's report. Okay. Do not underestimate the power of a pellet gun, even in a pistol. They make projectiles for pellet guns. I think they're made out of tungsten. There are videos of people hunting with that projectile, killing the ones that I remember precisely. They're hunting big boars, and they shoot them in the head at close range. And if I remember correctly, it goes clear through the head of a big boar. Now you're talking a thick skull, way thicker than a skull of a human skull. There's plenty of power there to kill any human being at close range. Plenty of power. Okay. There's so many faults to that scenario. misdirection. And more and more I'm formulating it in my mind of these different scenarios, what could and what couldn't be. They got to recover, and I think they will, that projectile. And that projectile is going to tell you a lot. That will actually tell the story. That projectile will tell the story. I think this was so much more planned out than anybody knows, to create confusion, to create distrust, mostly to create confusion. You know, that's kind of the name of the game. Create as much confusion as you can. I'm trying to think of a few other things that I have slept on last night. Again, I have shot 30 caliber rifles, everything from 308 all the way up to 300 Winchester Magnums. I have shot rocks at 300 yards with 30 caliber big rocks and watch them virtually explode from a 30 caliber rifle. And I just don't see that. I just don't see that. You can go on YouTube and watch where they shoot 30 caliber rifles, say out to 100 yards, on 1-inch steel plates. And in some cases, they will completely penetrate that steel plate and knock it over. Heavy steel plate, just knock it over. And I don't know if there's, I haven't looked at bulletproof vests in a long time. I question if there's a bulletproof vest that close range at 200 yards would have prevented a complete penetration. And if it did, it would have expanded tremendously. And it would have, if it would have penetrated his bulletproof vest, it would have expanded tremendously, and it would have blew a huge hole out his back, a huge hole, and a huge entry wound, and it would have knocked him clean over. So this little round leaves a small tear in his shirt, okay, goes upward, deflects upward, hits him in the neck, and probably goes clear through his neck. You know, the angles is just not consistent with the high-powered 30-06 rifle. It's just not. I'm sorry. This is something else. There's a lot of thought went into this. A lot more thought than I initially. I mean, I accepted the scenario at face value initially, and my gut feeling just kept saying no, 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 no. There's something very strange about this. I can't think of anything else at this time, but I want anybody who sees this video, did anybody hear the report of a high-powered rifle? Because I've listened to the video, I don't hear it. My hearing isn't good as it once was. My eyesight's not as good as it once was. So that's why I'm asking. I really am. I'm asking. If I'm wrong on any of my details, I want to know. But if I'm not, I want everybody to know I'm not. Conspiracies over and over again. Okay, I'm closing out on 10 minutes. I usually I very rarely go over 10 minutes. I want as much input as possible for anybody that was on the scene, anybody that's got any information that took place at that exact time or after. Police reports, eyewitness reports. Let's put this together. Let's put this together and come out with the exact truth. Because if we don't get the exact truth, we're not going to be able to find the real culprits. Now, all those, if there are one shooter and two patsies, we need to know who the patsies are, because they're part of the conspiracy. And they need to be interrogated and find out what they know. And I think I could just cover all bases. Okay, over and out.